So we are back for Chapter 6, Self-Employment Business Income, and I'm going to complete tax problem number 2 in your book on page 6-59. During 2010, Cassandra Albright, who is single, worked a part-time job at a doctor's office and received a W-2. She also had a consulting practice that had the following income and expenses. She has $48,000 in revenue. She purchased a laptop on 4/23, which she wants to elect Section 179. She traveled 2,500 business miles and 13,000 personal miles. She had supplies of 500 and a cell phone charger for $540. She also had wages from her W-2 of $45,300. She had federal withholding on her W-2 of $4,983, and she had interest of $2,300 from Old Bank and dividends, which are qualified. So we have, and she has a Schedule A. So this is an exciting tax problem. So I am going to start with filling out the first part of her 1040. So we have Cassandra Albright. Social Security number 412-345-670. She is single. She can claim herself. No other dependents. Answer, yes. So, she has wages of $45,300 listed on her W-2. She also has taxable interest of $2,300. Since that is over the $1,500 threshold, we need to file a Schedule B. So I'm going to go right here to the Schedule B, and I'm going to put Cassandra's name here. And she received this money from Old Bank, and she has $2,300 in interest. That is her only interest form. I'm going to wait for my computer to catch up here with me. So she has $2,300. She doesn't have any excludable interest, so she has $2,300 in interest. We must complete part 3. She didn't have any money from a foreign country, and she didn't make any distributors or transfers to a foreign trust. So that's the first part of Schedule B. So we're going to bring the $2,300 back to line 8A. Next, she had ordinary dividends of $3,100. They were also qualified, all of those, $3,100. We're going to put this on line 9A and 9B, and we will know that since we filled out line B, 9B, we will have to, once we get further into the tax return, complete a qualified dividends and capital gains tax worksheet. This is a PDF that you can't type in, so I've scanned it so that you can see what I wrote, but I printed it out and hand wrote it. Okay, moving right down to 1040. We didn't have any taxable refunds here. So next, she had a self-employment business income, attach a Schedule C. So we're going to go on to our Schedule C. So I'm going to put Cassandra's name up here. And she has a medical consulting business. Now, I went forward prior to this and looked up on the IRS's website her code for medical consulting. You can also do this in the tax software. It is 623000. She doesn't have any business name, and her business address is the same as her regular address, which is 1400 Medical Street. Apartment 3A. And that is Lowland, California, 12345. And Cassandra is on a cash basis of accounting. She did materially participate because she is the consultant. And it does not say that she started her business in 2010, so I'm going to say that she did not. Now, it says that she has earned $48,000 worth of income. So line 1 is $48,000. Now, if she was selling a product rather than a service, we would want to go forward and do returns and allowances and cost of goods sold. She's not, so we're just going to leave that blank. So she has $48,000 on line 3, and then again on line 5 and line 7. Now, it tells us that Cassandra purchased a laptop, which is $2,300, and she wants to section 179 it. So we're going to have to fill out a 4562. It also tells us that she bought supplies of $500 and a cell phone charger of $540. So I'm just going to go to line 22, which is our supplies, and I put $500. So I'm then going to go over here, and my cell phone charger, I'm going to list that on other expenses. I don't know why she bought such an expensive cell phone charger for work. Maybe she's using it to do work. It also said that she had traveled business miles. So we are going to fill out part 4. Now we're going to fill out a 4562 for the computer. So here's our 4562. We purchased a laptop. Her name is Cassandra Albright. Medical consulting. And we're referring to her social security number. So we placed Section 179 property, $2,300. So I looked up the limitations. It's 250,000 and 800,000 here. So we want to subtract line 2 from 3. Minus 2,300, 797, 700. So I'm going to put her laptop, and we're going to say she's using this based on the problem 100% at work, and she's electing to 179 the entire amount. So we're going to add these all together. We have 2,300. Sorry, made a little typo here. So we have 2,300. So actually, this is going to be 0, because I need to subtract line 3 from 2. And then line 5 is going to be 250,000, which is our maximum 179 selection for the year. And the smaller of line 5 or 8 is 2,300. We don't have any carryover. And our business income was $48,000. And that is not more than line 11, so our section 179 is $2,300. The other thing we're going to do is, because we're using a car for business purposes, I'm going to go, sorry, the scrolling is choppy. And I'm going to fill out this section B for a car. So we want to talk about the total commuting miles. It doesn't say what she commutes. So we're going to put 0 here. Her total personal miles was 13,000. And her total business miles on line 30 were 2,500. So her total miles driven during the year, we have to add these two amounts. 13123 plus 2500, 15,500. It doesn't say the answers to these questions. Obviously, if we were doing this for real, we would find out from the client. Was this vehicle available for personal use? Probably. She used it she is a more than 5% owner, and we don't know if she has another vehicle available for use. And did you maintain a written policy about commuting miles? We're going to say she did, and that she has a written policy, and that she treats all use of employee vehicles. Oh, we need the one related to her. So the way that we're going to figure out what her deduction is for this is we're going to multiply her business miles by 50 cents. Because that's what the business mileage is for the 2010. So 2,500 times 0.5 equals $1,250. Now I'm going to go back to my Schedule C. And remember, we put on line 48, we put her $540 cell phone. So we also need to carry that to line 27, her cell phone charger. Her section 179 is $2,300. And she gets $1,250 for using the standard mileage calculation. She doesn't have any other expenses here. So we are going to add these all up. And we are going to add 1,250 plus 500 in supplies, plus 2,300 in section 179, plus 540 in a charger. So she has expenses of $4,590. We are then going to subtract that from her $48,000 worth of income. So she has $43,410 on line 29. She doesn't use her home office, her home as an office, so she has $43,410. So this is her self-employment income on her Schedule C. We're going to take this number and put it back on our 1040, line 12. My computer does not like to scroll right now. So now I'm going to add all of these up. So I have $45,300 in wages, $2,300 in taxable interest, $3,100 in dividends, $43,410 in self-employment income, for a total of $94,110. Oops. That should be on line 22. Now we're going to have to figure out, she does have self-employment tax, so we're going to have to go to a Schedule SE. So I'm going to pull up a Schedule SE. Potentially. So the person with self-employment income is Cassandra. Albright. So we're going to follow the little schedule. Did we receive wages and tips On a W-2, yes. So we need to go here. Was the total wages subject to Social Security or railroad retirement plus your net earnings from self-employment more than $106,800? No. Did you receive tips subject to Social Security and Medicare tax? No. Did you report any wages on an 8919? No. So we're going to go back over here. Are you a minister, member of a religious order, or Christian Scientist practitioner who received IRS approval not to be taxed on earnings from this source? No. Are you using one of the optional methods for figuring your net earnings? No. Did you receive employee income reported to you on a W-2 of more of 100 of church employee income? No. You must use the short Schedule C. So I'm going to use the short Schedule C. We didn't have any net farm income or Schedule K1. So we have net income from a Schedule C of $43,410. We're going to combine lines 1A, B, and 2, which is $43,410. We're going to multiply this by point 9235. $40,089.14. I think it was 89. Yes. It is less than $106,000. We multiply line 4 by 15,000 by 15,400,989 times 0.153, 6,134. Then line 6, we want to deduct half of that. 6134 times 0.5 equals 3067. We're going to take that and put it on line 27 of our Schedule A. Schedule 1040. Line 27, 3067. So line 36 is 3067. And we subtract that, that gives us 91043. We're going to carry that down, 91043. Ooh, craziness. There we are. Now, she does have a Schedule A as well, so let's pull up her Schedule A. And we have Cassandra Albright. Alright, so she has No medical wages. So I'm just going to put the 0 here. We're not even going to make the calculation. She does have state and income tax of $2,265. Plus she has $350 that she paid. So we're going to add those two together. 2265 plus 350 equals $2,615. That's going to go in box 5. She also has real estate taxes paid of $3,450. So we're going to add these two together. Equals $6,065. It also says she has $12,300 in mortgage interest. And that's all she has for her Schedule A. So we're going to add this together. So her Schedule A is $18,365. I'm going to scroll down. Line 29. $18,365. Then I'm going to go back to my 1040 and put that number in. I'm going to subtract that, and that's going to give me $72,678. My exemption is $3,650. I'm going to subtract that, and that gives me $69,028. Now, if I calculated the tax on $69,028, I would have a tax of $13,438. But remember, she had qualified dividends. So I did scan her dividend worksheet. You would have to print this out and fill it out by hand to calculate this number. So she has $69,028 on line 43. Her line 9B is $3,100. We're not filing a Schedule C, so we put 0. We're not filing a Schedule D, I'm sorry. We are filing a Schedule C. And then line 4 is $3,100. We're not filing a 4952, so 0 on line 5. We subtract line 5 from 4, so that gives us $3,100. We then subtract line 6, the $3,100, from our taxable income, which is $69,028. That gives us a new taxable income of $65,928. It asks us to enter $34,000 if she's single. She is. It asks us to enter the smaller of line 1 or 8. That's $34,000. We then want to enter the smaller of line 7 or 9, so 7 or 9, that's still $34,000. We subtract the 10 from 9, $34,000 minus $34,000, and we get a 0. So 0 of this is at 0%, and that's because she's above the 15% marginal tax bracket. So then we're going to take the 3,100, the smaller of 1 or 6, and the smaller is 3,100. We didn't have anything on line 11, so line 14 says 3,100. We then multiply this by the 15% for qualified dividends. That's the tax on those qualified dividends. That's $465. We then go ahead and figure our tax on this number right here, $65,928. And our tax on $65,928 if we were single would be $12,663. When we add the qualified dividend tax plus our tax on that new taxable income, we get $13,128. Again, if I went to the tax tables for the entire amount on line 1, we would find a tax of $13,438. So now I'm going to take the smaller of the two, and so that gives me a new tax of $13,128. So in theory, because she had qualified dividends and there's a special rate, not in theory, it's actual, minus 128, 13128, she saves $310 in tax. So I'm going to take this 13,128 and enter it on line 44. So 13,128. She has no AMT. We're going to have 13,128. Now, you have to remember she has no credits, but she does have a Schedule SE, and her self-employment tax that we calculated on the SE was $6,134. So she owes that in self-employment tax. And so we add these two together. 13128 plus 6134 for a total tax of $19,262. Now, it said that she had $4,983 withheld from her W-2. It also said in the back of the problem that she paid two estimated payments of $7,000 on June 15th and September 15th. So she paid $14,000 in estimated payments. We also have to calculate her Schedule M. So let's go. I don't think I pulled up a Schedule M. So let me go to my forms here and pull up a Schedule M. All these PDFs are eating up the memory in my computer. So we have Cassandra, Albright, she did make wages of more than $6,451. Enter 400. Her line 38, her AGI, was $91,043. We have to enter 75,000. And we need to subtract that. So we're going to take 91043 minus 75123 equals 16. We're going to multiply that by 2.02, 2%. $321. We're going to subtract that from the 400. So she gets $79 of this credit, of the making work pay credit. I'm going to bring that back to her 1040. So we're going to add this all together. So we have 4983 plus 14,000 plus $79, $19,062. Ooh. She actually owes money. So we're going to put that on line 76 She owes $200. And there it is. We are done with Tax Problem Chapter 6. Had a bunch of different stuff from all the other chapters. If you have any questions, again, you can send me an email.